Welcome back to AlphaCars and Motorcycles. My name is Ian. Today I'm here with Daryl, our motorcycle specialist.
Hi everybody.
So it's awesome to have Daryl here because this video is going to be a Royal Enfield orientation video. So whether you're thinking about buying a new Royal Enfield or you've already bought one, you're in the right place because this is going to show you how to get familiar and how to operate it safely. And in particular, this video is on the Interceptor 650. And this also applies to the Continental 650 as the kind of switchgear and engine, all that's the same. So let's get into it.
Hi everybody. So, again, my name is Daryl. I'm a motorcycle specialist here. And whenever you purchase a new Royal Enfield or Ural or whatever we have here, we make it a policy not just to hand you the keys and wave goodbye. We want to go over the motorcycle with you before you leave to make sure you've got a general idea of how all the controls work and that you feel comfortable. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to go through that on this Interceptor just to kind of give you an idea of what it's like. So first place we always start is the keys. Now when you purchase a new motorcycle, you'll have two keys. There's also a key code tag on the key ring. It's a 4-digit code number that a key can be ordered from. So always make sure you don't leave that tag on your key ring. So obviously the first thing we're going to do is switch it on. So you have a left goes to on, right goes to off, and if you turn the bars to the left, push in on the ignition switch slightly, one more click will lock the forks. Okay? Now, when you switch the bike on, you'll get your instruments will swing through, all your check lights will show up here, check engine light, alternator light, oil pressure light, neutral light, ABS light. And when you start the motorcycle up, everything goes out eventually, except your neutral light and your ABS light. These two lights will stay on, the neutral light will stay on until you put it in gear. ABS light will stay on until you start rolling. The system has to get a signal from both the wheel sensors, and once it has that, it'll kick in, light will go out, and you're all good. If that light ever fails to go out or comes on while you're riding it, contact us because there's a warranty issue. Has no effect on your regular braking, but your ABS system is not engaged at the time. Handlebar controls. These are pretty straightforward, standard controls, just like you'd see on most motorcycles. So there's nothing weird about them. You have your emergency kill switch, your start button. Over on this side, your high and low beam, your turn signals left and right. Now you push to cancel, there's no auto cancel. Your horn's under here. And then there's a little yellow trigger button here, that's called flash to pass. So what that does is if you have your lights on low, you pull that trigger, it flashes a high beam. Up on the dashboard as well, on the speedometer side, you have your fuel gauge and your odometer. Now, this button in the middle toggles through the 2 trip meters in the odometer. It also allows you to reset the trip meters. So in that case, you pick which one you want, you hold the button down for a few seconds, and it zeroes it out. So that's everything up here. Next thing is the gas cap. Has a lock on it, you flip this up, push the key in, turn the key. Now, keep in mind the cap comes off. It does not hinge. Therefore, whenever you open this key up, if you're not paying attention, I've heard of people not paying attention, the cap pops up and it goes bouncing down the side of the gas tank. So keep that in mind when you're getting fuel, that the cap does come off. To put it back on, you just push it down, it locks, and you're back all set again. Since we're talking about this, next thing we go down to is fuel. Next thing we do is oil. This bike has a sight glass right here on the side of the engine. There's 2 embossed lines. As long as if the bike is in the upright position, the way it is now on the center stand, not running, the oil level should be between these 2 lines. If it ever goes below this bottom line, you'll need to add some. If you need to do that, the filler's right up here. And while we're at it, the filler's there. Up front, you have a nice convenient spin-on oil filter. So that makes changing the oil easy. Drain plugs under the bottom where you'd expect it to be. Next thing is getting access under the seat. Now, this bike has a removable side cover on this side that you have to use the key to open. Quarter turn, lift out on the side cover just enough to get your fingers put behind it, and then pull down on it. You'll see it has these two pins on the frame, two grommets here on the cover. These go up and in whenever you're putting this back on. Behind this side cover, you have your tool kit. Your battery access is from this side. We put a battery tender lead on every motorcycle we sell, which aids in serviceability. The battery is an AGM maintenance-free battery, so you can plug this in when you're not riding the bike for any length of time or storing it, that sort of thing. Also, as a note, you can also run a heated gear, things like that off this as well. So if you bought yourself a heated vest, you can ride one in the fall or at night, even in the summertime. This will make you a little bit more comfortable. Next thing is the seat. Seat removal is just this little knob. So you pull this little knob and lift the seat right off. Now under the seat, your fuse box is under here. We also normally store the owner's manuals under here for the customers just to make sure that they know where it's at in the beginning. The other side cover does come off. The only reason why you would want to take it off is to access the air cleaner, or it also makes getting the battery out easier. But there is a screw right here that nobody tells you about that you have to take out to remove that side cover. A lot of these side covers got broken early on because people didn't realize that screw was there. So keep that in mind if you ever want to upgrade your air filter, check your air filter, that sort of thing. To put the seat back on, you just hook it in the front, line the holes up in the back, and you're done. Side cover goes on, slide it up on the pins, push this in slightly, lock it, and you're good to go. Things like the chain adjustment, tire pressure, and all that stuff are all set by us before you pick the bike up. It usually comes with 1 gallon to 2 gallons of fuel already in it, and oil's topped up as well. The only other adjustment that can be made on the motorcycle, on the suspension side, you can adjust the rear shocks for added preload. The only reason why you would make this adjustment is if you have a passenger on the back. You can adjust these by turning the collar. There is a tool in the tool kit that allows you to be able to do that. Otherwise, that doesn't need to be adjusted. Okay, so I have one more thing to show you guys. And we'll go through this on this beautiful Mark II. Center stand. Back years ago, just about every bike had a center stand except the Harley. Now, most bikes don't, but every Royal Enfield except one has a center stand. And if you know how to use it, it's a great thing to have. If you don't know how, then you're going to have trouble putting it up on the center stand, maybe hurting your back or something. So always just kind of go over how to do it. So this bike's on the side stand now. To put it on the center stand, you're going to upright the bike straight. You're going to put your foot down the pedal here, keeping the bike in a straight line. You're going to move the bike back and forth just a little bit to make sure both feet of the stand are touching the ground. That's the most important part, because what some people will do if they feel uncomfortable with this is they'll want to lean the bike to them to keep from dropping it, and you end up trying to pull the bike up on one foot of the stand, and it's very difficult to do. So once you put the stand down, once you have both feet touching, you just, in the same motion, put weight on the stand, pull up on this handhold, and pull back on the bike just a teeny bit. And it really doesn't take any more than that when it's done right. To take it off the center stand, you have the option of getting on it and kind of dog paddling it off, or taking it off on the side. What I usually do a lot of times is I'll leave the side stand down. I'll put my feet forward and back, not side by side. Because if you roll the bike off and it does happen to bounce the other away from you and your feet are side by side, it's going to pull you right on top of it as it's falling over. So keep your feet back and forth so you can rock your weight back on your back foot if you need to. But simple as that. So if you bought an Interceptor from us, I hope you're enjoying it. If you're thinking about buying one, this is basically how it works. Any questions or anything like that, please let us know.
Well, Daryl, that was an awesome job. I know I learned a lot. I hope this really helped you guys and made you more comfortable to get out on the open road and have some fun, on your Royal Enfield. So if this video was informative, please make sure to like it. Don't forget to subscribe. We always have new exciting content we're releasing. So Daryl, thanks for your time. An awesome instruction, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, and thank you guys as well.